Because I know who you are, so I mean.
I'm DJP. I'm a vinylist and turntablist for, I don't know, since I was 6th grade. I'm 37 years old now.
Let them know how old you
I
are.
can do the math. I don't care. They can know how old I am.
Wow.
I'm old school. That's what I am. I'm 37 years old.
So old school, it'll tell you your age.
Yeah.
Well, so I recently heard a rumor that you might be selling your records.
I am selling. As a matter of fact, a kid just brought me $1,000 last night to the show here in Portland and paid it as a down payment. Yeah.
So they're going.
They're gone.
And so what is the next step for DJP?
Right now I'm working on learning new technology, which, I'm wanting to produce my own stuff and kind of flip, my different styles myself, just produce. Mixing has been good to me, and vinyl has been great, and it's kept me in, it's helped me make a living. It's helped me to learn a lot, but the technology has changed that with Serato, and I'm converting a lot of my vinyl over to Serato right now.
Right.
I know the year's 2010, and a lot of cats are even telling me I'm like the last guy to do it, which I don't. Probably in the game, maybe I am. Like one of the main guys that's last to jump on that bandwagon. But I always believe in vinyl, and that's.
I mean, here we are at a record store buying records.
I'm buying records, but I'm buying a lot of different stuff that back in the day I was buying more like hip hop and stuff I could rock a party with. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm finding it harder to find stuff like that, like newer stuff like that at least. And I seem like I'm always digging in the crates to find the older stuff. Just like a lot of the sets I do. I mean, I'm straight up old school. It's just I don't really have a lot of things I come up with that's new that maybe I would be able to if I jumped on Serato, which whatever. If I had it my way, digital would have never came out, and everyone would still have to buy records to do this. But
I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But then you got a lot of people like, oh, you don't know what you're saying. You can do things that you could never do with vinyl. Well, of course. It's like taking the strings off of Eric Clapton's guitar and putting buttons on it and saying, hey, Eric, you're a great guitar player, but now look, no strings, and you can push buttons and play 6 more chords than you could, in one strum or whatever you do now. So it's like, that's the way I kind of look at turntablism with vinyl opposed to Serato. Oh yeah, you can do loop points. I mean, Serato's cool, it really is, but at the same time, when you really look deep into it, you don't even have to look deep into it. When you just really look at what it's done, it's like now the kid down the street can have that record. He doesn't have to go to 360 and dig in the back or get dirty in a flea market to find the record that he has to have in order to mix music in a nightclub. Like back in the day, if you didn't have records and turntables, then you didn't mix music. There was no CD players, there was no Serato, there was none of this bullshit. So you had DJs like myself or other cats that are older who were making their living as a DJ. They would go down to the club and make $500 to $1,000, if not more, a night because the club was packed, and they were like one of the very few or the minority in that city that had records and who actually knew how to mix music.
Yeah, it seems like producers now are the people that have the new record that no one else has access to because they can make a track that no one else has.
Right.
Sort of keep that to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Keep there. You just said it. Keep it to yourself. These kids nowadays, they take their gig drive and they give it to everybody.
Absolutely.
And now every fucking kid has the goddamn record.
Yeah,
I mean, just to put it bluntly, it's irritating. It is, because all my life I've made my money spinning music and being good at it, transitioning, knowing how to program, how to play music, and now in today's society, it doesn't matter how you play it. Because one, most of the club music's fucking garbage. It sounds the same, and it doesn't matter how you mix it.
Yeah.
For us back in the day to throw on a record here and mix an acapella with an instrumental, people bugged out on that because they're like, oh yeah, this cat, music mattered. It mattered, and people took music seriously. I don't believe people take music seriously anymore. I mean, they go in a studio now, they make tracks in 5 fucking minutes, and then they put this garbage out, and these kids get it as an MP3 file, and then they go down to their local, nightclub, and they walk in, and they say, hey, I'd love to DJ here. Sure, how much? Oh, I'll do it for $100. Boom. That's what killed it. When the digital came out, and Serato came out, and the CDJs, that's what killed DJs from being able to make a decent living even in their own hometown, playing at the club, because why pay DJP, who's from here, who's done all this stuff, who's toured with Jazzy Jeff, Premier, whatever, who can mix, who's made a name for himself, who came up with this style, what they call mashups now. Why hire him and pay him $500 to $1,000, which ain't shit, but when you're home, it's good money. Why pay him that when we can pay Billy down the street, who's my friend that's in the same fraternity that I'm in, who has Serato now, or CD players, and dude, he'll do it for $80 a night. As long as he's getting free beer and pussy, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
That's where DJing's at.
We jumped to a couple topics that I wanted to discuss.
That's fine. We can go back.
No, which is awesome.
When we get on these certain, I break it down. I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is, because that is how it is. There's no in between. That's exactly what DJing is now. It's the douchebag with the fucking goofy hairdo that wants to be DJ AM, or looks like AM. AM, AM was AM. Everybody needs to be themselves. Stop trying to be something that you're not. Be music. Do you know music? Do you know the original breaks? Do you know anything about hip-hop? AM did. I give it to AM. He knew that shit. He was a hip-hop head. Bottom line. These cats now, and he was good at what he does. I know he went to Serato. He's probably the best person I've ever seen on Serato besides Jazzy Jeff. Hands down. But when you got all these other cats that are trying to do it and don't know anything about the culture, they don't know anything about the culture, to me it's a problem. Because I sit back and go, dude, I busted my ass all my life to do this. And now these little bastards are doing it for $80 a night, and it's fucking me because now I can't work.
Well, we're definitely jumping to a different topic now, because now I want to ask you about DJ AM.
It's the way it is.
DJ AM, rest in peace. I've been fortunate to see him live.
Adam was a great guy. He was getting ready to sign with Dexstar right before he passed away. Yeah, and then God rest his soul, he passed on, and then that became another curve that didn't work out. What's that?
Hit up Scott Murphy. They need some people. But DJ AM, again, rest in peace. One of the best DJs a lot of people have seen or been lucky enough to see.
Yeah, well, he gets it. I've listened to him. I've never seen AM on vinyl, but I know from watching him and what he was doing with Serato that
playing it out.
He could definitely do it. And he told me he did vinyl for him. I believe him.
Well, so when DJ AM passed away, there were a number of DJ tributes where groups and groups. Oh no, go for it. I would love to know who's calling DJP right now.
DJ Platinum.
Oh, where?
We'll put him on hold.
All right. Sorry, DJ Platinum. When DJ AM passed away, there were tons of tributes. DJs got together and they put together these sort of huge, sort of in-memory lineup concerts for AM. DJP passes away tomorrow, God forbid. Who would you want, DJ-wise, on a bill to honor DJP?
Right now, who would I want to honor me? That's hard right now because a lot of things have changed with my outlook on people.
Oh, okay.
At one time, it would have been Z-Trip, and not now. I hate to say that, but it's true. I would have to say, the cats that have been real with me, and the person that's really, shown me a lot with DJ, not with DJing, but just how cool you can be in the hip hop realm and how real a person can be. I would definitely love to have Premier do it. He's done a lot for me, and Jazzy Jeff, man, definitely. But Cool Herc. And you can't really. That question for me is hard because there's so many cats that I look up to that are DJs and that have that started this back in the day and have different styles of doing what they do. That it's kind of hard.
You said
just
not
to put
Z-Trip.
one DJ.
You said not Z-Trip.
No.
A lot of people know you along with Z-Trip as sort of this massive tandem of Z-Trip and DJP. Why not Z-Trip?
There's a time there's a time in life when you don't know a certain person, and there's a time in life you can forget a person. That's me breaking it down.
Okay.
And that's too bad that I have to say that. But there's people in the game who change. I remember a guy that I worked with named DJ Z-Trip. Okay. Now you got Z-Trip. I don't know that guy. Wow. Don't want to know him. I've seen enough of them, and I don't mess with people who I feel have fallen off.
Wow.
I'm ahead. I'm raw, and the bottom line is, we don't see eye to eye on shit, and that guy to me is just a foul person.
Well, I've heard rumors of an uneasy listening reunion tour.
It'll never happen.
That's not happening.
I'll never do another thing with that guy. I'll never do another album. I'll never work with him in the studio. I'll never do anything. Z-Trip's out for Z-Trip. He don't care about anybody but Z-Trip. Okay. And I don't like people like that.
Well, let's talk about some of the things you are working on.
More positive things, man.
No, I mean, last night...
I'm going to tell you anything. I have nothing. I'm real. I'll break it down.
Let it out.
Whatever you ask me, I'm going to tell you because I have nothing in life to hide.
Okay.
People need to, and that's the other thing with people in life. They need to stop fronting. They need to stop, hiding the fact that, oh, I'll tell you about this person, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. Fuck it. Tell who it is. It's like, tell who it is. Tell why you have that problem. My shit, here's the thing with Z-Trip. He and I were so tight because we had the same fucking style. We thought the same. But he took advantage of me as a person. He took advantage of me and my style. He bit most of my shit. 85% of Uneasy Listening was me. Those mixes were mine. We said, we both had to put it together. He couldn't have done the album without me, and I couldn't have done the album without him. But he looked at me in my face once and said, you know what, I didn't have to do this album with you. Yeah, you did. Because over 80% of that shit wouldn't have been on there. Because that was my thinking. Those were my blends. Yeah. And it's people like that I can't have in my life. People that are just so goddamn arrogant, they think they're better than everybody else.
When's the last time you guys talked?
I played with him October 30th of last year, 2009. That was our last gig, and it will be the last gig.
How did it end when you guys, ended the gig, pack up, hey, good seeing you, and that's
pretty much, because I'm the kind of guy that I just, that the thing with me, and I've gotten it's actually like kind of new for me to just come out and tell somebody right in their face they can go fuck themselves. Because I've always been the kind of person that's been, I don't like confrontation. I don't like of course here I am talking all this shit on video, but the thing is I don't care anymore. Because to me it's like, let people know how you feel, let people know what time it is, because there's too many people out there who I've learned are so foul, and they'll just use you for what they want and then spit you to the curb. And to me that's what Z-Trip did to me. He saw another cat that could do what he does, he saw another cat that could rock a party, and he just used me for what he could and spit me to the curb. Hadn't heard from him in months, maybe even a year, and he calls me out of the blue to come do that show, in Vegas. And it was because the guys in Vegas that had hired him wanted us to do an Uneasy Listening thing. It wasn't because he wanted me to come out and he'd miss me and all that. Because when I came out there, he hogged the whole fucking stage. He doesn't want anybody to outshine him, bottom line. And I'm not saying I would have, but at the same time, I can rock a party better than he can in Vegas. I can. Bottom line. I'm not saying I'm a better DJ. I'm saying I can do what he does. I can rock a party. If that's the case, he wouldn't have been over half my mixes. It's just the way it is. So, that whole thing with Z-Trip and I is history. I just don't have anything to do with it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the stuff you are having to do with now. You have new projects coming up. Last night you gave us a little sampling of the show, DJP, Egyptian Lover, Refuge, Anonymous Eye, 5-year celebration, amazing party. You gave us a little mashup, I guess would be the appropriate term, of a Michael Jackson mix that you're working on. Michael Jackson over, I don't want to give it away because I know you're working on it, but a very popular Warren G song.
Yeah.
What is up with this project? What do you have coming? What's your end goal for this?
Right now I'm working on a Michael Jackson tribute, and I know a lot of people jumped up and ran to do one when he passed away. And I sat back and I thought, I want to take my time with this. I want to do it right. So it's been, I know, almost a year. Well, it's going to be a year, June that he passed away? I can't remember, and here we are in April. But I've been working on this thing, and like last night, I blended the regulators.
You're going to give it away. You really are telling everything.
Regulars,
okay.
Well, yeah, it was, maybe I shouldn't. We'll just leave it at that. But
we'll just say a very popular Warren
It just
G
happens
song.
to, everybody will know what it is. But it works. The blend works, and it's just having an ear. That's what DJing is. It's like producing. You just hear it and you put it together.
Well,
and it either works or it doesn't.
That's what I want to ask you. When you started thinking of the Michael Jackson tribute mix, were you hearing Michael Jackson songs and thinking this would go great over this beat? Or were you hearing Warren G and saying this Warren G song would sound great with this instrumental with Michael Jackson a cappella over it? How did those songs sort of come to be created?
Funny thing is I came up with that mix probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
And then I shelved it because it was
holding it.
Yeah, I just did it one day and it was like, oh, that's cool, it fits.
Crowd
put it on the shelf. Yeah, and you know the thing is, the song though, and I won't give that away, but it was a newer song by him, and that album didn't really go anywhere. But it was like, you know, that sounds great together.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much.
There's so much stuff that
there's
so much stuff that I have done, and I just kind of shelf it, or I put it off to the side. But when I pulled that back out and decided to do it on the album, and I've already laid it down on there.
Oh, nice.
And you know, probably I think my most creative thing on the album so far is this mix I did, and I won't say what it is, but I took a classic rock guy, I won't say who, artist,
okay,
and I put it with the Michael Jackson acapella, and I actually used Serato to do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I just put a loop point on it, and I went to this point, this point. That's Serato. It's actually pretty cool things you can do with it, even just in the studio. I did a remake of that, so
nice.
Kind of switched it around and did a remix, and it'll be the last. Just to give that away, it'll be the last track on the mix.
Okay. All right. When can we expect this mix to come out?
Hopefully by June. I want to have it done maybe like around the time he died, you know, and just have it like a year, you know, grieving thing. Hey, you know, it's been a year. Here's the.
No, it's definitely a unique take on it. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
Michael Jackson mixes came out. J-Rock had an amazing one. I mean, Riz, Suzanne's, tons of people had amazing mixes of Michael Jackson music. Obviously, Jazzy Jeff. From what I heard last night, it seems like a unique take on Michael Jackson done in a different way, which I thought was very cool. So definitely respect. I will be looking forward to that. Absolutely. So, what is your favorite part about being a DJ?
My favorite part?
Yeah, it sounds like you're getting an introduction, but I mean, as far as being a DJ, what is the favorite thing about being a DJ that you have?
Now or then?
Then or now?
You know, just being different. You know, my favorite thing now as being a DJ is just still finding the things that make sense to me in music and creating those mixes. You know, which I will admit, it's hard, it's few far in between, because it's kind of like running out of ideas with the way music is going. Like, I don't really care to find a Lil Wayne acapella and throw it over something and be creative with it, because I can't be creative with that shit. You know, it's like, to me, it's all about digging for classics. It's like I just spent, $80 on
Rare,
which ain't a lot, but just funk and original breaks or stuff that I could sample and flip my own way. Once I learn Logic, once I learn Ableton Live, you know, that's the thing. I'm at that point because I've always held back on learning new technology. I'm not a big computer guy until now. I'm starting to get into it because I have to.
Well, it seems like digital culture has changed.
Yeah, you know, the MPC 2000 is a great drum machine, and it was. I love to sample and sequence on that and do the decays and all that with it, but it makes more sense to get the newer stuff because you can see it, it's in front of you, it's easier. I don't know if I'm going to get the same sound out of those programs as I would the MPC.
True.
You know, but then you take a guy like Premiere who's still using, his old MPC, and it's like he produced Christina Aguilera tracks with that thing. It's all about what you're used to, and I don't believe in really trying to upgrade to what's new, but at the same time, I had never polished the MPC enough to not start fresh, if that makes sense.
Okay.
No, all my remixing and stuff's always been by hand. I do a vinyl. I never would go and get Pro Tools and put an instrumental on track 1 and then an acapella on track 2 and then go in and adjust it and all that until now thinking, okay, if I'm going to produce stuff and really do this and quit, and I can't get the acapellas, or if I can't, I'm sick of busting my ass trying to put things together, I might as well just jump on and ride this thing, because you can only beat the steam engine so long and it's just going to beat you back.
That is true.
And that's what I've been doing when it comes to Serato,
No, but you've been holding it down with the records for a long time.
Yeah, I have, but I will also admit too, it's hard to come up with new sets, new things that really hit people, Especially now, if I get booked to play at a top 40 club, imagine if I'd have done that set last night at a top 40 club. It wouldn't have lasted 30 seconds. Yeah. People have been like, it's just knowing what you can get away with and where you can get away with it at.
Well, I actually want to touch on that too in a minute, but what's your least favorite part about being a DJ?
My least favorite part of being a DJ? The music of today that people expect you to play. I don't like the thought of going into a club and having to be looked at and viewed as a jukebox when these kids don't even realize what it takes to do what someone like I do.
Oh, much respect. Much respect.
You know, it's like you don't realize that you heard 3 things at once, and it was because I was quick enough to get the record on and place the needle on it and go boom.
Yeah.
But you know,
and your looping game is crazy.
Yeah, with the effects unit and all that. Thanks. Yeah, that's the shit. But why? In my mind, it's like, why should I? Even last night, let's say that I already had a record made with that loop where I didn't have to do that and loop it and unloop it on time. Let's say that I had a record where I already pressed it and made it like that. No one there would have knew. They would have still viewed it as what I just done. Maybe a couple. Yeah. But do you get what I'm saying? That's why Serato has completely...
But you brought the performance element. You took the records off.
Yeah, I took it off and got on the mic and go, okay, I explained it to everybody, you know, which is kind of
people
funny.
People went nuts. People went crazy.
Right.
That was part of the live show.
And I think that's the problem with DJing. Not enough people understand it because nobody's ever explained it. I mean, if you just... And I've thought about doing this, doing a tour of all these colleges on DJing and break it down. My younger brother came up with this idea. He's like, you should put this thing together, you and somebody else, and say, okay, here's why we did this. This is how we did it. And really teach what that culture was compared to what it is now. Because I think that culture of what I've been doing for years came and went so fast into digital that everybody really missed what we were doing. Like, they missed the fact that, wow, he had to do that and put that on in order for that to be one source. So that's something that, you know, I think would be cool to do. And but going back to what I was saying, that's why Serato made it so easy for kids to be able to do it. Oh wait, I wish I could mix like Z-Trip and DJP. I wish I could do that. Well, you can now. You got Serato. Just put our album in Serato and play it at the club. And then all the girls will say, oh, he's so great. That's the problem.
But when you see these changes in sort of DJ culture and, you know, where it's gone from to where it is now, what are some of the elements from the past that you hope that these new young guns, these new kids with Serato keep with them? I mean, I know some DJs are like, I wish kids knew how to scratch. You can't be a DJ until you know how to scratch. You can't be a DJ until you know how to mix records. You know what I've noticed?
Most kids nowadays can scratch better than I can. That's the bottom line. I'm not a scratcher. Never really was. My scratches are simple. You know, like, and even then, I'm not like the kid that sat and really learned to crab and flare, and I have nothing but respect for that. Like DJ Presto One, a lot of cat, Rocksteady, a lot of other cats, you know, Hubert, hands down, to me, #1 scratcher in the world. I respect that to the fullest because I understand what they're doing, and 2, I can't do it. You know, but for me, I just feel the culture needs to go back to the streets when it comes to DJing, because that's where it came from. It wasn't the white suburban kid, like I said, with the funny hairdo and the douchebag, you know, tight Affliction shirt up there with his headphones going like this in a picture.
I think you just lost a clothing sponsor possibility.
I may have, but oh well, I don't like Affliction. Wait a minute, I own 4 of those shirts, but I didn't pay for them.
There you go. Totally honest.
They fit though. You know, the women see you and they want to have sex with you because they show your biceps and your arms. You got to understand why these guys wear that crap. But then they get the name douchebag. But you know, that's the thing. DJing, when I remember it, was honestly, it was the black kid in the hood. It was the Mexican kid, the grungy white, you know, the minority white kid, like Mr. Freeze was in the Bronx. It was the cats that grew up in the struggle, that mixed music, and I mean, Cool Herc. Those are the guys, man. You know, you go back and Grandmaster Flash, Cool Herc, Grandmaster Kaz, all these people that were doing it in block parties back in the day. That's what started a lot of this mixing. And I know a lot of people might argue with me. I know there's Chicago with the house cats. I don't know enough to talk about that.
Derek Carter.
Yeah, exactly. But I respect all of that. I respect the old school. I respect everything where DJing came from. And the problem I have now is these kids now, they're not DJing because they love music. They're not DJing because they have it in their soul. And when they hear it, how many kids do you think today you could go to and say, or could go to and have them play that one song when they're in their bedroom by themselves that when they drop it, they almost cry because they feel it so much inside. They're like, man, I remember that record. I love this song. This like does something to my spirit. It's not about that anymore. It's about the kid getting paid, laid, and seen. It's about the chick that can't mix cereal with milk with the big tits. That's what it's about. That's what DJ culture is about now. It's not about the kid that has a passion to go in and go, oh shit, I've been looking for this.
Yeah. Not good.
You know, it's, wait, what is that song you just played? Hey Michael, what is that? Hey, by the way, is my hair messed up? Okay, because she's coming. What is that song? Here. Oh, thanks, man. I'm going to remember that, because that's the song that's going to get me laid. That's DJing. That's the problem I have with it. I stand up for the culture. I stand up for what I believe in. And music moved me as a child. It either moved me or it didn't. And that's why it's so hard for me through the years to go into a nightclub and play this garbage. And I've done it.
Yeah.
Because it's also hard to say, no, I'm not going to play for 2 hours for $4,000.
It's tough. Money versus keeping it real.
And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are like, well, you're selling out. Well, that's easy for you to say. But if I can go into a club in Las Vegas and I can drop a needle for 4 hours, but have the balls to play this record for 8 bars to keep my sanity, and go into a J. Rue the Damager track and go right back into 50 Cent, then I've done something. But if I'm going to be that guy that's up there afraid to take chances and just play the hits back to back and be a cornball, I'm a sucker. But if I can go in and I feel like play the music that these people want to hear but still take them over here, left field, and when I see that I'm not getting away with it, and you find a way to do it. You don't just throw it in. It's finding that loophole in the music makes sense to do it and then come back. You've done something, and then you don't feel such like a sucker night. And then you know what you did? You just made $4,000 that you're going to use to come and buy records at 360 vinyl that are good. That's the way I always looked at it. Like, I never looked at it as being a sellout.
Records, not just download MP3s.
Yeah. Exactly. But
So
no one. I'm saying
style,
like me growing up, like when I used to live here and I played at Banana Joe's. Everybody knows Banana Joe's was a top 40 club.
Yeah.
At that club, I'd drop the Far Side.
Wow.
I had the whole place singing "Passing Me By" one night. Do you know why? I took a chance.
Yeah.
DJs don't take a chance, or DJs don't know how to take a chance, because DJs don't care. They're getting through the night to get their money and get laid and get free beer.
Well, so how would you describe your DJ style then?
Diverse. I love all kinds of music, from Journey to Jill Scott to Tribe Called Quest to, as far as party rock and stuff, what people understand and what they know, and then maybe what they don't know that they might like, or something that I'm going to play for me. Whatever happened to give the DJ a break. That's what that meant, was let the DJ play something for himself now. He's rocked you for an hour. Let the DJ, give the DJ a break. Let me drop this